Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm David. I don't have a not Gary prop. Sorry. I looked around the house. Don't have it. We'll have to deal. We'll let the not David thing be a Gary thing. Okay, this is going to be a reading on Jack Smith. News came out a few weeks or several weeks ago regarding Jack Smith having requested phone logs for several different Republican politicians, House members, Senate members, and such. Now, mind you, the requests were for phone logs, call logs, showing who called whom and at what time. Not the context, not bugged calls, not where they actually know what was said, but who did Josh Hawley call during that during the insurrection? Who was Donald Trump receiving calls from? Who was he making calls to? And the order that the calls were being made as part of the investigation into the insurrection. It would make sense if this was a coordinated effort that the co-conspirators would be in contact with each other. And not just who's calling Donald Trump, but who's calling whom. So if Josh Hawley calls Donald Trump, they're going to want to look at Josh Hawley's records to say who is contacting Josh Hawley and who is Josh Hawley in contact with prior to the call to Trump and after the call to Trump. And then put together a matrix or a web of what was happening. Well, the Republicans referred to this move as political weaponization. And afterwards, House Judiciary member Chairman Jim Jordan requested or demanded an interview with Jack Smith. Jack Smith recently responded to that, saying that through his attorneys that he is open to testifying in front of Congress, but he wants to do it publicly. Not a behind closed door meeting. He wants it public for everybody to see so that he can defend his investigation and let the American people judge what was happening. Now, in order to do this, he would probably need access to his investigation, his reports into January 6th. Additionally, some of the information will have to become public. And right now, the Justice Department, for some reason, has Jack Smith's investigation under seal. The grand jury testimony is under seal, which is typical for grand juries. You don't usually let those out. And hasn't released his report to the public. If there's nothing to hide, go ahead and release it. I mean, the investigation's over, right? He wrote a summary report, right? Release it. We all know why they're not releasing it. Because there's stuff that's in there that the Republicans don't want leaked out, because it likely is not going to paint certain members of their party in a very positive light. So we need to protect them politically. The party of law and order, yet again, thwarts law and order. I want to read on the energy of the demand that Jack Smith testify in front of Congress and his counter demand that it be public, and how all this is going to pan out. Okay, so entertainment purposes only. I've got Nico here with me. I'll give you a cat fix here. See? Him skulking around probably means he was going to jump up on the reading table. So I will give him his pets and his love and lots of kisses, which he doesn't like. And then he'll go around and say, you know what? That was not the type of attention I was looking for. And he'll probably go over on the paper over there and play on the paper, and then that'll bring the kitten over, and then the two of them will play on the paper, then they'll start wrestling with each other and chasing each other around the house. Such is the life in my household with cats. Also, I put up a short video on the Tarot by the Bay channel of Elle and Nico wrestling each other. 2 minutes long. Go check it out. It's fun. All right, let's look at the energy around The request for Jack Smith to testify in front of Congress as laid out by the Republicans. What is the motivation and the story behind Jim Jordan's request? Okay, again, this will be for entertainment purposes only. Don't believe all the mad ravings of a lunatic tarot card reader on YouTube. Foundation of the reading. Nine of Swords. How interesting. I think for 9 people, this is a part of the past that they want going away. Now, what is interesting is that, with Trump in charge and Bondi in charge as the Attorney General and Kash Patel as the head of the FBI, they have multiple people in positions of authority that can protect those people involved in the insurrection in January of 2021. But it's a hell of a risk to bring Jack Smith in. They maybe want to make him anxious on it, but there's an anxiety component that's involved with this. What's the cross? Loss and disappointment. The Minor Arcana Death card. I think what's happening here is Trump has his enemies list. And he's going to go down the list. He's already got Comey and Letitia James indicted. He wants to go after Adam Schiff. He's got John Bolton indicted. There's more people. And so obviously Jack Smith is going to be on that list of people whose lives he wants to make a living hell. The problem is that it's not going to be an easy case. And I think from Jim Jordan's point of view, it's like, oh, please, let's not go there. We don't want to do this. But I think Jim Jordan was given marching orders. And he's not excited by this. He does not see the upside. Yeah, you can scream and shout and talk over him and accuse him of being a partisan hack and stuff like that. And it'll play well soundbite-wise to the Fox News audience. But for everybody else who's not a devout MAGA, and they start hearing Jack Smith testify, likely when the Democrats ask him questions to explain himself, and he testifies and he sounds reasonable, it's going to backfire on them, understanding that Jack Smith doesn't talk in public much. And so you're now putting a voice behind the face. For MAGA, the only reason why they recognize him, he's got a goatee and a funny purple robe. And they probably think he's the Illuminati or something like that. Underneath it all is the King of Wands. Trump is ordering this to happen. Jim Jordan is surrendering his power to Trump, in my opinion. But underneath it all, I think you have to worry about is Jack Smith was definitely a man of action and passion. And I think his passion is going to be the undoing in this part of it. In the past, you got the 7 of coins. We've got the evaluation of the evidence. Trump, despite the overwhelming evidence, despite him hiding documents at Mar-a-Lago, despite the insurrection and all the evidence pointing to Donald Trump coordinating this, doesn't care about that. What he cares about is his reputation being sullied. And this is kind of like, again, like Trump sort of evaluating, how do I get back at these people that humiliated me in front of everyone. Remember, Donald Trump hates humiliation. The mashed potato story. Current situation is the 3 of Swords. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the betrayal. And this is all, again, back to Donald Trump's big feelings that Jack Smith made his life hell. He only got off because he got elected president. No, I'm sorry, let me back that up. I can't believe I said that. He only got off because he got installed as the president of the United States. He did not get elected as the president. That is a hill I'm willing to die on. I refuse to believe that Donald Trump legitimately won the popular vote and all the swing states and the Electoral College. That didn't happen. That got stolen. Sorry, I don't have the evidence at the moment to support that. go to the Rockland County court case and let's see if that pans out, because apparently they might have that evidence. Elon knows more about those voting machines and the tallying machines than anybody else. Betrayal. And now he wants to pay back those who betrayed him. Overarching energy is the Seven of Swords. This is one of those things, Donald Trump can get away with anything he wants to. In this one, this could be trumped up charges. This could be selective release of information from the Jack Smith report. It's trying to get one over on people. I think it's what he's really trying to do. He's trying to steal Jack Smith's reputation. Remember the whole Mueller report, and everything was about the Mueller witch hunt, and there was a PR campaign for years before the Mueller report got released. And when it finally got released, Bill Barr stepped in and put a 4-page summary that did not accurately represent what the report was, and that was good enough for MAGA. That was good enough for a bunch of people in the United States who are not intellectually curious and wanted to hear the whole story. They were just willing to hear what they wanted to hear, what they wanted to believe, and that was good enough for them. And I think Trump's he's going back to that playbook and wants to do that again. Lesson to be learned is the strength card. This is a power play. This is Trump trying to power play and shut up this special counsel. But this special counsel is a very strong individual. He's also very quiet, so he's the strong, silent type. He is not the type that's going to let his emotions get the better of him. So as the Republicans are screaming at him and talking over him, he will maintain his composure because he's a man of action, not a weak man. What they say, the empty can rattles the most. Out comes the Page of Wands. Discussion about next steps. Jack Smith, this could be one of two things. This could be trying to weaken Jack Smith, take him from the king to the page. Demote him a couple of steps from the king to the queen to the knight to the page type of thing. I think they want to denote him to some talking points or something along those lines. But it could also very well be that Jack Smith, underneath this whole energy here, when he gives the offer that he's going to show up, I'll show up, but I want it publicly, may not be the path that they want to walk down. Trump will take him up on it. I think Jim Jordan, and Jim Jordan doesn't want this to happen. Remember, Jim Jordan got subpoenaed to talk in front of the January 6th committee years ago, and he still hasn't shown up for that. And he's still allowed to be in political power and sit on committees like the Judiciary Committee. Talk about hypocrisy. How is Jack Smith viewing this? It's not a subpoena yet. It's a request, if not a demand, that Jack Smith testify in front of Congress. How is Jack Smith feeling about this? We get back to the Three of Swords, the heartbreak and the betrayal. I guess when you try and conduct yourself with integrity, and then they come after you for doing your job. Remember all those daily press conferences that Jack Smith had, where he berated Donald Trump and the corrupt Republicans and stuff like that? Do you remember all those daily conversations he had? And he was going on Sunday to all the news stations talking about the case out in public, trying it in public. Yeah, me neither, because that didn't happen. Do you remember? I mean, reporters would follow him and he would just ignore him like a cat looking at you. Like, he didn't even warrant a no comment. He just ignored him. And this is how he gets. This is the reward he gets. But there's a feeling of betrayal. Why is that? The Moon card. I think I'd see where this is going. The Empress and the Lover's card. What's the betrayal from? He executed his job according to his oath to the Constitution and to that of being, in a non-biased fashion, investigating what might be the biggest betrayal that we've ever seen in this country. The failure to peacefully transfer power back in January 6th. It was a difficult investigation, and he did his best. Because you can imagine, even if there wasn't overt political pressure, the implied political pressure as he did his work, and he probably worked his team really hard. The other part is that this report has been sequestered and kept secret. And he knows things that he's never talked about because he's a professional. At the same time, though, and I don't think this could be Pam Bondi sitting on the investigation and not releasing it. And if she had released it, then this burden would never have happened. But I will choose instead to read the Empress as he's confident that he has all the information he needs. Everything is in that hidden report. And if that hidden report was released, people would understand what was going on and his motivations. Jack Smith has demanded, demanded might be the wrong word, in his response to the request that he testify in front of Congress under oath, he has asked that, judgment card, that this be an open hearing so that the American people can hear what he has to say. Two of Wands. So we've got the Judgment and the Two of Wands. Will Congress, Jim Jordan, Chuck Grassley, will they agree to these being public hearings? Grassley's not exactly innocent either. Remember, he was the guy that when Trump was saying Mike Pence wasn't going to be counting the votes on January 6th, and Chuck Grassley was going to do it, and Grassley says, I'll be there to do it, that type of thing. And then that didn't happen. Pence showed up, and then that whole thing with Grassley got scrubbed. That happened. That's not me making crap up. That happened. So Chuck Grassley basically knew what was going on. I don't know if they were overtly saying if Pence didn't show up. It would be like, if Pence doesn't show up, Grassley, you're going to be there, and Grassley's like, I'll be there. It's like Grassley was, it's like a basketball game, and the coach says, get ready to go into the game, and you're taking your sweats off, your warm-up clothes off, waiting for, a foul or a timeout or a buzzer so that you can go substitute in for the guy the coach wants you in for. He was ready to go. Will Congress allow this testimony to become public? Queen of Swords. This is literally be careful what you wish for. Again, if Trump wants it public, it'll be public, but I think he would be warned against it. Crossed by the Lover's card. Be careful what you wish for because, if Trump wants it, and they're going to be forced to do it because they kowtow to him. But you better be careful because this guy likely did everything right. And how are we going to defend against this? Underneath it all is the Three of Coins. Will they allow it? I think they're thinking better of it. The cross is, I think the public's going to be interested. They might have to go to public opinion polls and stuff like that. Do you want to see Jack Smith testify publicly? And it's going to be yes. People are going to want to see this on both sides. Then there's going to be some negotiations that are going on with it. In the past, the Seven of Wands, if he testifies publicly, it's going to be a battle. We've seen these public testimonies before. It's one against several. He'll be embattled, and that might be part of the strategy, is to try and put this guy on an island and just assault him from all sides and make him look weak that way. Current situation is the Nine of Coins. Okay, where does money enter into this? Okay, so Nine of Coins, this is about appreciation for what you have. This woman has many nice things, and it's appreciation. But to me, I've often used this as an oligarch card. So, while Trump may want certain things, our congressmen, entertainment purposes only, have wealthy people that sponsor them. Wealthy people that maybe financed stuff behind January 6th that may not want to be outed on things. Wealthy people are going to have a say in this. Money is going to have a say in this. Overarching energy is the Knight of Swords. They may try fundraising off of this. I mean, it's early for fundraising, but it wouldn't surprise me if they're doing this to fundraise. We're going to bring Jack Smith to testify in front of Congress. Send us money. I realize it just makes no sense, but the grift never stops, does it? Knight of Swords. It's like the Republicans need to be showed they're doing something to protect Trump. It's reckless, though. It's a reckless crusade. And there we go again with the card that was in the past with the Trump. You better evaluate what you've got going on. There's a lot of evidence, and some of that evidence is going to get out there. Remembering Fox News folks, OAN and Newsmax, they don't know much about January 6th. They don't know much about the Jack Smith investigation because all that information wasn't making it onto right-wing news media. And if you make this a public hearing, they're going to start hearing stuff that they've never heard before. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? This is where this is really dangerous for them. People are going to say, wait a minute, what? I never heard that before. And he's testifying under oath. They may not want to believe it, but I think there's going to be a lot of first-time hearing things type of thing. Outcome is the Death card. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to do it, and it might just be because by the time they have Jack Smith queued up and ready to go, something has happened and Trump has changed his mind. If he has a mind to change. Mild stroke reference there. Death card seems to me like they're not going to want to do this. They're going to put the kibosh on it. The risk isn't worth it. Kind of like, this is all posturing type of thing. Maybe something has happened with Trump and his presidency that the members of the Judiciary Committee are no longer beholden to Trump. You know what I mean? 25th Amendment type stuff where they don't want to do that. This card just fell out. Or the oligarchs basically tell them no because we're implicated too. And there's no way you're outing us. Why do I get advertisers? Nine of Coins also be like the advertisers. I think advertisers would love it. Every eyeball in the world would be on it. Okay. Spirit, high level 30,000 foot view. What else should we know about Jack Smith potentially testifying in front of Congress and this whole January 6th investigation and such? What else do you want us to know about it? Judgment. If and this card came out earlier, if he testifies, people will hear it. You got, again, King of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, and the Moon card. Because secrets will be revealed. It'll be crazy. It's going to be a shit show, absolutely. But secrets will be revealed. He'll be attacked, and he'll be able to defend himself. And what I see here is there's going to be evidence. testimony, what will happen is, just like the 9 of coins over here, there's going to be people who funded it, and he's going to be able to show. Jack Smith would be testifying, and instead of testifying about the evil Republicans and them not wanting to give up power, it's going to show how the money flowed. His testimony would follow the money, and it takes all the politics out of it, because they can say, well, we saw these donations and we know who paid for the buses, and it goes back to this person. And then we saw who paid for this, and it goes back to this person. And then we looked how these two people were connected, and it turns out they're connected through this third person, and we started seeing all these money transactions. It's going to be like they're going to be following the money and presenting evidence, probably financially based, and all of a sudden it takes the political left versus right out of it and becomes a simple corruption case. And you can't have that, because corruption cases aren't blue or red, just like pedophiles aren't blue or red. Pedophiles are pedophiles, corrupt politicians are corrupt politicians. They're not corrupt Democrats, they're not corrupt Republicans, they're just corrupt politicians. They only use the parties to get them into the position where they can expand on their corruption. I don't think they're going to let them testify, but you know what? If they do, it's not going to work out well for them. It's not going to go the way they think it's going to go. And I'll leave it with that. Thank you very much for watching our channel, even though Gary's not here for this one. We both appreciate it. I suppose this is the part where I'm supposed to give shout-outs, but I haven't looked up anybody's name. Let me pause for a second to get some names here. In the fantastic tradition of shout-outs, we're going to give a shout-out to Gay, who says, I love you guys, I always hype you, and I love that you are real. Well, Gay, we love that you're real too, even though you might be a troll bot account. I don't know. But here you go. You get the 5 of Swords. You are the absolute winner, take no prisoners, supporter of our channel, and we do appreciate that. We get one from Deborah Jane saying, good morning, Gary, and not David. David and not Gary. Happy Saturday, and thanks for the reading. Gary did a reading on the government shutdown. What are we supposed to learn from that? Well, Deborah Jane, thank you very much. We do appreciate it. And for that, we're going to give you the ever-popular, passionate Ace of Cups cards. We appreciate the passion that you bring in your good morning thing, especially when you put coffee emojis and blue hearts on it. And then we've got Dion Pryor, who says, I like not David's psychic predictions for months ahead. His uncanny accuracy brings me hope. Good Lord, what did Gary do on the channel today? I'm going to have to watch. Oh, we give you the 8 of Cups. The walking away from all the other channels who fail to accurately predict things in the future. Good heavens, what did Gary do? And, as always, a card for the rest of us. We're going to go from the bottom of the deck. We're going to go with the Integrity card, the 7 of Cups. So, in life, you take the good with the bad. The trick is you're supposed to learn from the bad. And by going through the bad or the dark, you appreciate the non-bad or the light that much more. Your highs are only as high as your lows are low. Because let's say nothing bad ever happened to you. I mean, literally nothing bad ever happened to you. Only good things. Well, your worst times are things that would normally happen to people. And to you, that would be devastating. You know, let's say the worst thing ever happened to you is you walk by somebody you know and they didn't say good morning. That would be your most devastating thought ever. And how much of a drama queen would people consider you to be where your whole day is ruined because somebody didn't say hello to you in the morning? See what I mean? Maybe that person didn't say hello to you in the morning. Normally, when he walks by, he shoots paper clips from rubber bands at the back of your neck. You know, that's like the worst thing that happens to you. So the day he just walks by and doesn't do anything for it, it's like, oh, it could have been a lot worse. You know, he didn't give you $500, but he didn't hurt you either. It's kind of a weird way to look at it, but understand. Anyways, thank you very much for watching our channel. We do appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next video. Take care. Bye!